I'm actually more interested because you crushed it yesterday, TNT. Long day. It looked like back and forth from the cool studio, though, out in center field. But what the hell happened at the end of the game with Marchand? Did you have to apologize for something?
No, I fake apologized.
Oh, okay. I was like, what is going on?
No. I was just joking about chirping his schnout pregame because I asked him if he was planning on putting any eye black on his nose, considering the shine that was coming off of it. and then I told him not to lick anybody's face because it'd get stuck to it with the cold. So we just had a little fun banter going back and forth. But and then after the game, Jans was on the panel because he's been joining TNT broadcast throughout the season, so they brought him up after the game, and as Marshy was coming to the stage, like he lifted like 6 kids over to bring him over. So he's like, "Oh, we were just fucking around. We're like, oh, pull out games week, yeah, get him a Cialis sponsorship. Just this guy's just going to the workbench." So Marshy came on though, man, and he's a very articulate guy, very intelligent. Obviously, he has a complete pulse as to what's been going on with this Boston organization, and he just did a great job articulating what this team's all about, their philosophy, and really how close they are. Jans touched on it too. He's like, even when they're down in games now, like they were going to the locker room second intermission, like no panic, everybody's still chilling. They're like, we know we got this.
Bruins go down 1 or 2-0, immediately live bet them.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's gonna last this whole year, but it's like no matter what, they force overtime.
Yeah, but I mean, we should probably pump the NHL's tires. Like, what an event, man! They think of everything as far as the Winter Classic's concerned. They had Sam Hunt pumping in the pregame, little country music. It was a party.
And he gets the girls going.
Oh yeah, they were just jamming themselves in the front row to him. And then that was like down the street. And then first intermission, they had the Black Keys. That was probably the best.
I like the Black Keys.
Unbelievable.
I like. And
it was nice because they set up the stage to where I would imagine that you would consider the outfield over there probably the worst seating. Of anywhere you're sitting at because sometimes you're in that like the low section, you can't really see the ice much.
Can't see it at all.
But those fans get treated with the live show from the Black Keys. They had the fireworks going, so everybody really gets to experience something and get the benefit of the Winter Classic.
Even before, sorry, it was like Mardi Gras out there. It was a party on those streets of Boston like I have never seen.
Morales goes, "What the hell's going on here?"
Yeah, oh wow!
It was a gong show. It was a gong show of people, like the game on thing to the street to kids. It was.
I think too
show.
the complaint, and we say this every year now, but like people at home watching whatever, they're like, "Oh, another Winter Classic." It's solely for the people at the game. We've kind of made that clear, and that's why they do such a good job. And then being at the game and seeing Zdeno Chara out there with Johnny Busick and Bobby Orr, and just to like get to witness the history of the Bruins involved, and Jason Varitek, the captain of those Red Sox teams, he comes out. It was like, and the players were lined up along like kind of a mini ice hockey baseball field type rink setup. It was an unreal setting for the game. I thought the way the weather was, Fenway Park looked beautiful.
Perfect.
And the day was just perfect. I mean, we dealt last year, Minnesota had a great one with St. Louis, but it was -10. It was like 55 degrees yesterday.
Like perfect.
It's just perfect out. Last thing I'll say is Penguins, they stink. I mean, have they lost, 6 in a row now?
5 in a row. They blew the 4-0 lead.
What is going on? I mean, and then they couldn't close out the game yesterday. So some magic by DeBrusk, but things are getting a little scary in Pittsburgh, and a goalie went down again, right?
Yeah.
So the E-Bug actually dressed. Didn't they get E-Bug have to get dressed in the game?
I believe so.
Mike Chase on the E-Bug and Pitt. He's a beauty.
That would have been insane. An
So
E-Bug playing in a Winter
I don't know
Classic.
if you guys saw the replay, though. I felt like the call on Dumoulin in the third period on Marchand that put them on the power play.
I didn't like the call.
Brutal.
I fucking hated the call. They didn't end up scoring on the power play. They scored right at the end of it. Coach Sullivan was fucking losing his mind. And then even on the winner, I felt like DeBrusk made a little bit of contact with Dumoulin coming into the zone, which ended up freeing him up because Dumoulin blew a tire. And then after Halsey went POP, pass off the pads, little Wilkes-Barre special. Dan Bylsma, keep the change, Stanley Cup champion. It went right to fucking DeBrusk, who ends up scoring the goal. So good for Spidey, or they call him Cheddar Bob. Have you ever heard? They call him. They have a lot of nicknames for him. So I don't know who told the story. Was it on this podcast they said about Jake DeBrusque and how he's trying to learn the new word? Oh, it was Forbes. Yeah, okay.
I seen him on the way out when I was walking out behind you. He kept the uniform on, and he didn't see me. I goes, "Hey, nice to see you didn't get health bombed." He turned around, started laughing. He's like, "Hey, where's Biz?" So we had a check. I seen a few of the boys on the way out.
Can I ask you guys your feelings on this when it was 1-1 late in the game on the outdoor on the stage? I was thinking, I'm like, oh my God, Crosby's gonna dagger the Bruins. Yep. I'm like, this is such a.
Me and Merle spent overtime, so I was just like, yes, we're gonna get OT. I was plus 300. Nope.
Oh, what time did they score with?
2 minutes left.
That's right when I looked at Merle's too. He's like, you kidding me? He's pacing up and down in the thing with his phone out. But I thought that was setting up to be like, because just those moments, when guys are like that, and Sid's always been like that.
Well, that's the thing.
I was like, oh, this is.
And Gary was there, so the Wizard of Oz is just pulling the puppet strings.
And it was like, but that was the same when they had Bucic, Chara, and Orr. It was Crosby and Bergeron. It's like,
I know
so many legends here. I'm like, one of those guys is gonna do something special. The other thing I had to mention before we move on from this weekend was at the Loco after party post live show. This guy comes up to me. He's like, hey, I listened to the Forbird interview. He's like, I'm one of the guys that's been to his fucking elevator like 65 times. He's a firefighter, so this guy gets called every single time somebody's stuck in there. And Forbes, I don't know if he made it clear, the elevator only goes from the lobby to his penthouse. So it's not for the whole building. So anytime that elevator's stuck, it's either him, his dog walker, his family. Boston Fire Department's been there legit 60 times. So the guy's like, yeah, the guy might have to figure out a way to get out of that building.
Or a ladder.
Or just maybe
a pole.
Threaten the what are the people who run the
HOA strata?
Yeah, exactly. The landlord. Threaten the landlord.
Yeah, Johnny Busick, that was awesome seeing Chief come out. He's up there still ticking. It was a special moment seeing that. So